I really should have organized myself a cup of tea. It's chilly here in the Holy Land. Anyway, it just makes it even more cozy when I spend time with you, my Israel briefers. So welcome to the Israel Brief from all around the world. I am Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, brought to you every Monday to Thursday by these guys, Lay of the Land. And just a reminder, we put out a weekly newsletter, so if you would like to receive it, or even if you would like to write for our newsletter, we would love to hear from people in communities around the world. Please be in touch with us via our website. Details about where you can find us a little later in the show. Also, a reminder, if you have those pressing questions, and I love to hear from you guys, please pop them in the comment section below or be in touch with us via our website or Facebook page. And put those thinking caps on, guys. We've got 2 days to Mensch and Moron of the week, and the head is ticking. I can already think of several nominations for each, but we're a democracy here at the Israel Brief, and we want to hear from you. I know the neighborhood dog has a few recommendations. Unfortunately, I don't speak fluent dog, so I'm going to just have to let it be to the humans this time. So let's take a look at those top stories. It is day 438. There are still 100 hostages being held captive inside the Gaza Strip. The weather is turning chilly. As you can tell, I'm in my cozy sweatshirt. And of course, we think of the worsening conditions for those hostages. And we also think of civilians in Gaza who have had to endure a horrific humanitarian catastrophe as a result of this war forced on all of us by Hamas on the 7th of October. So let's take a look at those top stories. Today's Israel Brief will be a trip around the Middle East, and we begin with the Houthis, who have claimed responsibility for firing a Palestine-2 ballistic missile towards Tel Aviv and the center of Israel yesterday. The Iranian-backed terror group fired this missile, which was intercepted before it reached Israeli territory. However, sirens sounded in Tel Aviv and surrounds, including very close to where I am in the center of Israel in Modi'in, and I could hear the booms of the interceptions because of the damage that can be done by shrapnel. In fact, several people were injured running for their shelter, and there have been reports of bits of shrapnel from Houthi missiles being found as far as Jerusalem. I don't think it's from yesterday's missile, but it could have been from the one last week that was fired towards where I am in Modi'in at 6:30 in the morning. A Houthi official posted to his social media in Hebrew and in Arabic saying that Israel will pay a heavy price for our actions in Gaza and in Syria. The U.S. struck Houthi targets in the Yemen area of Sana'a in response to attacks on ships in the Red Sea. The Houthis have been attacking shipping lanes in the Red Sea since the 7th of October, creating havoc not just for us here in the Middle East, but for everybody around the world. And we can see it with the price of goods being hiked up. Meanwhile, the Jerusalem Post reports today that Israel is losing patience with these drip Houthi attacks and is likely to strike Yemen soon. According to the Washington Post, a Hamas official says that the terror group has backed down from demands for Israel to end the war. They have agreed to what could be a cessation of hostilities for 60 days in exchange for hostages. Now, yesterday, President-elect Donald Trump said the hostages better be released by the time he takes office or all hell will break loose. This is the second time the president-elect has used such terminology in the last couple of weeks. And President Biden, hosting his last Hanukkah party at the White House, said that he is working around the clock to try and secure the release of all the hostages, and decried what he calls the despicable rise or surge in anti-Semitism. Lebanon should seek peace with Israel. This is according to a senior Druze leader. The Druze are a minority group inside Lebanon. And I just want to say something about the Druze, because we have Druze populations here in Israel who are our blood brothers and sisters. We say we have a covenant of blood with the Druze. Yesterday, I brought you the story from Syria of the 6 Druze villages asking to be annexed by Israel. The Druze are not Muslim. Their religion is Druze. It's a secretive religion. We are not privy to it, but the Druze are amongst the most fiercely loyal and incredible people that we have in Israel, and are loyal to the countries, to the areas that they come from. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Israel's incredible Druze population and our Druze brothers and sisters around the Middle East. The official went on to say that a Palestinian state is a pipe dream and called on Shiites to embrace reality and look at ways to prioritize peace. Meanwhile, the IDF, in their operations conducted in southern Lebanon, have uncovered weapons caches with explosives. And finally, we go to Syria, and this story is absolutely horrific. We are seeing on a daily basis the magnitude of the atrocities committed against the people in Syria by the Assad regime. A mass grave was uncovered that contained what is estimated to be about 100,000 remains. This is just one of several mass graves across the country. Now, the United Nations have said that they are dispatching a team of investigators and have appealed for the sites, for all the evidence to please be preserved. Now, I just want to say something about this in all seriousness. For nearly 15 months, we have heard the world point a finger at Israel, continuously accusing the Jewish state of genocide. We've heard from the ICJ their rulings that have not ruled genocide in the case of Israel. We've read the reports, one as recent as yesterday, from the Henry Jackson Society, that shows you just how overinflated the Gaza civilian numbers are, and the whole agenda around that. For now nearly 15 months, the streets of cities around the world have been taken over by the pro-Hamas contingent who have been marching, accusing Israel of genocide. I don't even call them pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian, because if they were pro-Palestinian, they would be looking for solutions towards peace. They are pro-Hamas. We have seen the encampments on college campuses around the world, which have made attending classes almost prohibitive for Jewish students and faculty. We have seen the United Nations resolutions, one after the other. The warrants of arrest issued by the ICC. Now, somebody pointed out to me that the Palestinian Authority, or the State of Palestine, which doesn't exist, is a signatory to the Rome Statute, but Israel is not. Israel is not a signatory, but there have been warrants of arrest issued for our Prime Minister and our former Defense Minister, but nothing for Assad, who is also not a signatory to the Rome Statute. And we have seen the world's social justice warriors weigh in on what's happening in Gaza, but none of them have said a word about Syria. Are the lives of people in Syria, which also encompasses tens of thousands of Palestinians, worth so little that when there is an actual genocide, you turn your gaze away? History will remember you all for being on the wrong side of history and for turning a blind eye willfully to the horrific genocide that occurred in Syria. And while I'm on the subject of genocides, there are genocides occurring as we speak against Christians in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. There is a genocide being committed against women and other people, including Christians, in the Sudan. There is a genocide being committed against the Uyghur Muslims in China, and the world turns a blind eye to focus on a trumped-up accusation of genocide. And as I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, genocide has a specific definition. It is not about numbers, but it is about the intent to wipe out an entire population group. We saw an example of genocide in action on the 7th of October. And now we get to the audience question. It comes from Sandra from Joburg. How's it, Sandra? Because she wrote there, how's it, Ro? She said, yesterday you said there are Irish showing support. What are you seeing? So what I'm seeing on social media is a phenomenal show of support from people in Ireland saying that they stand with the people of Israel, that their government does not represent their points of views, that the closing of the embassy will bring more shame to Ireland than it will bring to Israel, and that they stand firmly and unwaveringly with the people of Israel. And to that I say thank you. Thank you to the brave people in Ireland who are making themselves heard, who are getting out there on social media, standing with Israel in our darkest hour. Your support is appreciated. Let's keep the dialogue open between us, because I believe that peace is built from the ground up between people like us to the politicians above. And those are our top stories. So let's take a look at where you can find us on our website at www.layoftheland.online, on Facebook at LOTLSITE at Lottle's site, on X at Lay of the Land 5, on YouTube right here at the Israel Brief. You guys know what to do. If you like our content, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. We are on Instagram at Raleen_Marks and on LinkedIn at Raleen Marks. So guys, God bless you all. Stay safe, stay warm. I will see you again tomorrow for another edition of the Israel Brief. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.